Is it working? Is it working? Okay, wait. I gotta turn on my. I'll turn on my lights. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta turn on my lights, and then what I also gotta do. Okay, lights are on. I should look bright and cheery. I should also look into here. I want to make sure the audio is working, so I'm gonna play some music, switch safe lo-fi music in the back. And it's only playing on my left ear? Why? What? It's only playing on my left ear. That should not. Okay, hold on. Hold on. What is happening? Okay. I've never had that happen before. Hello. Oh my god. Hi. Okay, sorry. I am troubleshooting something right now. There's only audio coming out of my left headphone. And that's never happened to me before. Um can you do me a favor, Mercedes? Can you is there music happening at all? Yes, okay. So there is music and I'm only hearing it on my left headphone. What is happening? Okay. I guess I'll figure that out later. That's like really disheartening. Why? What's okay, whatever. I have other headphones. I'll just switch to that. That's so disappointing. That's so annoying. Okay. Okay. No, I gotta figure this out now because I've gotta stream to show. Last time I did a writing stream, I had 3 people in chat, which was crazy. I wait, hold on. I gotta change this to. Yeah, it was a lot of people. Like I was just like expecting 0, and I'm okay with 0 because I can just yap. I don't mind yap. I was like, oh my god, good conversation that time. But then I got distracted from what I was trying to do. So which is okay. But something that now I have to figure out is okay, how do I accomplish the task that I'm trying to do and then also communicate with others? This is like it's hard. Like streaming and just like being an interesting person to watch and learn from is doing that at the same time. There's a lot you gotta have to process. So I hold on, okay, I can't hear anything right now, so I gotta fix that. Where okay, I can hear that. I'm gonna lower my volume. Okay, I can hear that. And then what else can I hear? I'll make sure that my input microphone is set up properly. Audio line in. Okay. All right. I think that's working. Okay. Is I'm sorry to ask you, Mercedes. Is the audio still working? Is everything fine? Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much. I am going to enable my Twitch chat overlay here. Something that it is all goof. It is all goof. I have a couple of I don't know. I guess this is an announcement, but it's not really an announcement. It's more of just like a um, sort of rebranding. I guess is what's happening. Is that I'm realizing more and more that for me to succeed in something like streaming, I have to. I mean, it should one. I should put my best effort into it, and if as long as I put my best effort into it, I will find some level of success. I don't know what that level of success is going to be, but as long as I put in like a modicum of effort, like what I will obtain is something that represents, like my best, and my best tends to be at a level that is above average. So as long as I like put in my best work into, like, I really take, and this is like the serious side of me, as long as I like very seriously consider, like streaming not just as a hobby, but like, really try to understand what makes it for a good stream and what makes for a good show, then um then just like people will follow, like I will deliver something that feels appropriate to uh just, you get what you put into it is basically what I'm trying to say. And I can either just stream and just like, do like a half-ass job, which is okay and like good, like that's not a bad thing. But I'm like realizing, like, I think I want to kind of think about this as a show. I want to like try to think about like, how do I turn this into a show, like an event, like something that is worth watching, right? It's worth tuning into, and it's worth staying around for. Yeah, the Serious Goop Show. Yeah. So hold on. Wait. This is, hold on. This is still, hold on. Watch this. Okay, I got export this to a PNG SG show, and then watch this. I'm gonna add an image. Okay, and then I'm gonna browse it, and I'm gonna. Okay, look at this. Look at that. Oh, wait, I gotta move it. I gotta move this. Okay. Welcome to the Serious Goop Show. Oh, I gotta change the color. That's not okay. I'll change the green doesn't really stick. Can I add like a effect here to just do that for me quickly, like a stroke? Let's see. Probably not. Okay, I'm just gonna add a stroke in Photoshop and just do that manually. Okay. For now. And then these two, I'm gonna group this. Add a color overlay. Make that brighter. Okay. I don't know how that's gonna fit in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have that, and then I'm gonna add. I'm so smart. I'm gonna add a stroke. Yeah. Where am I getting my streams from? There is a YouTube playlist called Twitch Friendly Stream, Twitch Friendly Lo-Fi, and that's just what I've been using for now. What I would love to do is I would love to have like custom music. That'd be so sick, but I don't have that yet. So, we'll get there. Is this fine? Gonna. Serious. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to just live with that. Yeah. So that's sort of like my plan, like over time is to, right now I'm doing like a lot of study streams. What I'm trying to figure out is like what a good balance is between or just like what, like how to convert a study stream to like also a creation stream. So like the study streams are like my dishonest streams, and then the creation streams are my honest streams, and like try to like fit that into a some kind of schedule organization or something that like really that is just considerate of the fact that study streams are less interesting than creation streams. But there's also more room to play games in like a study. I don't know. I'm figuring things out. It's gonna be a process. But that is the plan. It is to like have both study streams, creation streams. Like so for writing, it wouldn't be just studying writing, but there'll also be like a writing my own thing. So once I finish the study material that I'm doing, I'm gonna like start to I'm thinking like split streams into two, or like maybe like the first half hour or an hour of a stream is going to be very it could be like very studying focused, like maybe looking at resources that exists available like on the internet, like on YouTube. And then the rest of the stream will be like me using what I learned to like try to create my own thing. And just try to turn it into like a fun little game, and like try to make that process of creating something fun. And I think something that I am also like, this is not strategic, but this is like I think a happy accident, is that because I'm spending a lot of time studying right now, that's creating a lot of that's developing my analytical brain, and that's great. But what that also does is that also can develop a lot of fear. I can develop a lot of anxieties, because like once I start creating something, it's like my analytical brain will be so developed that like I immediately see the faults, and I immediately see like like everything that's like wrong with what I'm doing. And so I've developed, or I've brewed a lot of dishonesty, is what I call it. So because I've done that, what that means is that like I'm very likely to, like if I start writing, I'm gonna like feel bad about myself. I'm gonna feel bad about my work. And up until now, it's been like pretty debilitating. But I've been coming up with my own methodologies to counteract that, and to why am I getting a toll-free call? That's not right. Okay. I've been developing a lot of strategies to counteract that, and to like sort of like be able to do the hard thing anyway, which puts me at a level, I think, where like most people are with people who want to start a new creative hobby. People want, because I can just start anything. I can just do anything. I'm pretty good at that. A lot of people are very scared to just like start things. Hi, how's it going? A lot of people are very scared to just start things because it's scary, because like they don't want to, because of fear, or they don't want to be like they don't want to be bad at something. And so by like studying so much like writing before I really start writing, I'm sort of putting myself in the same playing field as I think a lot of people who want to start new things, but they have difficulty to. And then I want to introduce like the ways in which, even when I have that much fear, even when I am very scared to do something because I see how bad it is, and I don't want to be bad, I still like, there are still ways, and there are like repeatable ways to get over that. And there are just like different techniques that exist and that I've been developing over time that help you learn how to have fun with something that like that might otherwise still instill a lot of fear in you. And some of those techniques also involve like developing or changing your relationship with fear itself, and sort of like essentially like exposure therapy with fear, and exposure therapy with like like it's like okay to be afraid, and like being afraid can actually be something that feels good, because especially once you know the results that it can generate, like the results of being afraid and then doing something anyway, it's like it's possible to cultivate a relationship with fear that actually helps you create, and actually helps you become the artist that you want to be. So that's sort of like the long-term game. I just like rambled a lot. So that, so long story short, yeah, I'm planning to, and once I get through this book, I'm planning to just write, and I'm planning to express myself and show off just how is it that I find the act of writing enjoyable even when I'm filled with fear. Um, so yeah, that's, I just yapped a lot. So right now, what I'm doing is I am replacing the logo. There we go. Okay, that's fine. It's like it's not it's not like I would change, the colors still, but that's like more readable than it was, and I'm just gonna have to live with that. I don't know where this is gonna be. I might just have to be this might have to be like here or something, or like I don't know. This, I was planning on this only being like, like one of those little like corner logos or something. So I wasn't sure. I did not plan this out beforehand. Oh dear. Okay. Bottom right corner looks good. Yeah. I know it's a little busy. This part, I mean, so part of like this part, the where like the dog is, that needs to be covered up anyway. You know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to I think it would have to be somewhere up here. So I would have to change the spacing a bit for this. I think I'm going to get rid of the text, like the welcome to the show part. I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. Okay. Get rid of that. And then I'm just gonna replace this PNG for now. I wasn't actually necessarily going to include this logo here in today's stream, but I want to start thinking about it. Okay. I think down here could be good. Maybe up here. Yeah, it is special location. Okay. I think here works. I think I'm gonna put Livy here. It's kind of like where you would expect, and I can even make it tiny too. Yeah, up here. Okay, that's perfect. I think that looks great right there. So then we're also going to include, I'm gonna set my timer up. So here we're gonna set this to 3. I'm gonna do, what time is it? 1:58. Okay, so it's gonna be 2 and 2.5 hours. Oh, that is not how you write hours. There we go. What is the last thing I was gonna do today before starting the stream? I don't remember. Whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm gonna open up my Word document. Where? Here we go. Okay. Okay, so these are all my notes I've been taking about this book. And then here's my okay, wait. Does that show up? Okay. No, it doesn't. Let's go to my best part about this. Let's go to read.amazon, the Kindle library. Let's open that up. Was I on typecasting? I was. Then let's change the page color, and then let's just, where would I show this? Over here. Ooh, I have another idea, but I'll save that for later. I'm just gonna clean this up over here. Oh my god, yeah, good. Oh wait, sorry, I'm I'm trying to say, I'll see you later if you rejoin. Just, you know, I'd love to have you back. Hi, hello. You are catching me in the act of just setting up this stream. I believe. Let's say no. I don't want to unsave those changes. Okay, let me quickly just make sure I can set this up properly. Then, okay, I'm not sure. So I'm trying to share my web browser, and for some reason I'm not able to see it. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. We're doing great. We're doing great. Okay. I apologize for that. Hello. Welcome to the Serious Goof Show. Today we are just going to just do writing studying. Like that's kind of just it. It's not, I don't know if this will be that entertaining. I doubt it'll be, you know, I think it'll be okay. I think this is mostly an exercise in me just getting used to streaming and getting, you know, into the habit of streaming, because I do want to stream a lot of different things, and I just don't know enough about streaming to be able to get to where I want to be. And I'm also like, there's still a lot of stuff that I want to learn how to do. Like I want to learn how to write. I want to learn how to do music. I want to learn how to like just I want to do a whole lot of different things. And so like right now, what I've been doing off stream, or just like on day-to-day life, is I've been studying and practicing those things. And I figured, okay, so if I want to like get into the habit of streaming, I should just document what I do. And I should just you know, on a day-to-day basis, what do I do? Just put that on stream and not really worry about the quality of the stream, or whether this, you know, if I'm entertaining or not, or if I'm making a stream that people want to watch. So, you know, am I going to accomplish that? Like, you know, like somehow I am apologizing to you for not exactly knowing what I'm doing with my streaming self and with my streaming career, and I'm figuring that out in real time. But there is something that I enjoy doing a lot, which is I enjoy yapping. I enjoy talking. I really enjoy that, and I really enjoy having conversations and interactions with people. And like, maybe that is like enough, right? Like maybe that's enough to guide me forward and ensure that I will, you know, if I don't succeed as a streamer, at least like I get to learn more about myself and learn more about exactly what I mean when I say that I enjoy yapping. What are the kinds of situations I can put myself into where I can yap more, and what are the things that inspire me to keep going? Just like, you know, learning as much as I can about the person that I am. That I think is always a good use of time. So streaming writing can be hard at first, but I'm sure you'll do great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I think over time, I think I will do a good job at it. And I think that I will improve. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. Last time I was streaming. So let me also be clear about what it is I'm doing. Is right now I am reading this book called Make Every Word Count by Gary Provost. And I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I just want to learn what he has to say about writing. And I'm doing this as somebody who also, like, I'm not a natural writer. I don't write for fun on my own, and I want to. So I'm learning how to, I'm learning how to sort of like shift myself and shape myself into somebody who is a writer, somebody who is very comfortable using words to communicate what they're doing, or communicate what they want to say. So I what kind of writing I think about doing? That's a really good question. One, I'm thinking about writing philosophy. I would love to be just somebody who just understands how to write philosophy and how to write philosophy well, because philosophy is just something that I'm very interested in, something that I do all the time, and I love thinking about something that I think a lot about, for example, is honesty. Like what is honesty? Like what really is honesty, and what are the ways in which honesty exists in not just like in our own heads, but exists in the world, and and exists as a system that other forces of nature interact with, like animals and even non-living creatures. So sort of interact with systems that mimic or parallel or maybe are the same thing that we say when we talk about honesty and dishonesty. So I would love to write about just my observations on that. I would also love to write about my or I would love to write about my insights in art. So a couple years, like 4 or 5 years ago, I started learning how to draw, and I got really into it. And I think I developed a lot of like just insights into it, just knowledge about it that I picked up on a lot of things very quickly, and I want to be able to essentially teach and essentially document the things that I observed in art in the form of a book or in the form of blog articles, or like journal entries or something. So there's like that like nonfiction is something that I'm interested in. But then also, I am also interested in learning how to write screenplays, because I want to, or I have a lot of ideas for different stories that I want to like explore and talk about. Because another thing that, sorry, I like I said, I can talk. I know I like yapping. I want to be a screenwriter for for a media that explores specifically talking dogs is something that I'm like intensely interested in. Like, what would a talking dog be like in the real world, and how they might like, just the kind of legacy that if a real talking dog was born into this world, like the kind of impact that would shape kind of the future of humanity going forward. That kind of story I'm like really interested in, and so I would love to be able to like write about that. Yeah, I'm also fairly new writer, but I can't draw at all. Yeah, so there's a lot of similarities. Also, like welcome to I guess the writing hobby. I'm also fairly new, so it's great to like have someone in the same boat. You just started screenplay yesterday. Yeah, I what was I trying to say? I think that I think there's a surge of people like trying new things right now. There's a lot of people like sort of like trying new things. And right now, especially, like it takes a lot of courage, because it's so easy to not try something new, and because of the way that society the way that society sort of weaponizes or takes advantage of sincerity, right? Like the way the word exists, your sincerity is used as a it's used as fuel to obtain like wealth, like money from you essentially. Um, so someone in chat getting through step by step and so look like a complete idiot. I promise you, you didn't. I promise you, you did not look like an idiot, because the like a real idiot wouldn't be able to go through something step by step. Like a real idiot would. I hesitate to use that term. I don't know. It sounds kind of like weird, like a real idiot. I don't know. Ugh. But anyway, just like I know you're not an idiot because you were able to follow something through step by step. Like I don't think you made yourself look like one. Write or Do It is a good one. I've not heard of that. I've not heard of Write or Do It. That is going to be on my radar. I'm going to look into that. It'll take long to learn. Yeah, I did take a screenwriting class, like not even a class, just like I had a project with screenwriting in it, like in high school back like 8 years ago. And back then I don't think there was that much software for it, so it was like a bit more difficult. But yeah, that I think the more I talk to you, like the more I'm realizing like, oh yeah, I actually do really, I know I said that I wanted to get into screenwriting, but not now that they're having this conversation, I'm realizing like, oh, like I actually do, like I genuinely want to start screenwriting, because this is something that I think like something that I really want to pursue. Yeah, I think most things you can learn for free, really. I think that the reason to pay for something is to like it's commitment. It's like personal commitment. Like that's the reason to pay for something. Like to pay for software like that is because you want to, you know, like that's how it motivates you to commit to something. But yeah, thank you very much for that suggestion. I'll check it out. No, you're like this is great. Like you're giving me a lot of useful info, so thank you very much. I'll share you right now what I'm doing. Oh wait, sorry, there's more you have to say. See actual script from famous movies. Ooh, okay, all right, I'm writing this down. Hold on. Okay, script slug. I'm just like writing down things you're saying. While you're writing other stuff down, I also have a question for you, which is like what got you into screenwriting? Like what made you want to start screenwriting? Helping people was fun. I love helping people too. I love giving people courage to try new things. That's like my favorite thing to do. Do you have any like streamers you recommend, or like who are your favorite like screenwriting streamers? All right, I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, because I also want to look into like what other streamers are doing too, because I have no idea what I'm doing with streaming. I'm really just, you know, splashing in my own water, just trying to trying to make it by. All right, so right now if you're interested in what it is I'm reading up right now. So I'm reading this chapter. It's called typecasting, and the idea is that, and this is like this is not a novel or new idea, but it's like a good one that like is like that I'm as I'm reading this, I'm realizing that this is something I don't consider very much, which is like when like there are when you include like details or like characters, we often typecast them. We typecast them very quickly. And so like for example, like this is like what something this chapter that I wrote about was is that when you like write about an affair, like when you include the word affair, when you say like I was having an affair in your writing, a character has an affair, there are a couple things that are like immediately implied. The affairs are implied to be secret, right? They're implied to be something that is like a hush hush, that's bad, that is going to be rejected by the other partner. And in real and like according to the word affair, that you don't actually need an affair to be secret, and you don't need an affair to be something that your partner doesn't like. Like your partner might think that you having an affair is a good hobby. Like your partner might think that your affair is a fun thing that you do. That is like according to the definition of affair. But that's not what we think when we use the word affair. And so if we were in that situation, we wouldn't use the word affair. We would be to like describe that situation. We would say something like you're in an open relationship, for example. So affair is really heavily implied to be like the secretive thing. Then also if you're having an affair with someone and that person's spouse is a football player, then that typecast immediately your brain typecasts that person into somebody who would resort to violence, even though not all football players resort to violence. So it's really important to understand that you're like when you include characters. I think so. Yeah. This is I say I think so because so I'm actually not American. I like I also get I get very confused about like when people say football, like are they talking about soccer? Are they talking about football? But in this case, yeah, we're talking like this book is written by an American, and like the whole book is about like characters in like introduce. It talks a lot about U.S. states like Kansas and California. So the book doesn't specify that it's American football, but I'm assuming that it's American football. So that's why I think it is American football. But this could also be I don't know. I don't know if soccer players would be typecasted into being bigger than like if somebody was a soccer player. I guess I don't really associate soccer with like big and strong. I associate American football more with that. So that's like interesting. So I'm actually going to write that down. That's actually really interesting. Let's say American. Let me actually say some assumptions I've observed. American football players. Soccer players. And I think that like, thinking about why this association happens is like like soccer maps to speed. Like I think about speed and like feet action. And then like American football players, American football maps to like body action and throwing actions. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to meet other fellow new writers as well. I'm really enjoying your presence. I don't have any, like, I don't have any sport. I'm not very good at any sports. I'm pretty bad at sports. But that's pretty cool. So let me see what else this book talks about in this chapter. Here's a tip that this book, I'm just gonna copy what this book says. So I think this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna remove the word tip. But this is I'm just here just a copy of what this book is saying here. It's saying, if I'm proposing something that contradicts the accepted social image, I have to tell you. If I'm not, then I don't. So this, I think, helps inform us when and where to add detail, which also is a little bit like art too, which is interesting. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, I worked a lot. I worked pretty hard on making an overlay that, you know, is fun and interesting. So thank you. But here's like a parallel with art. Where when you're painting something, you have to be decisive on where to add details, where to obfuscate them. So like, let's say when you're painting like an environment, you don't want to paint every single detail because it doesn't make any sense to. What you want to do is you want to, not only doesn't make any sense to, but it obfuscates the readability. Like the readability of the painting will be diminished. And so you have to be specific about where you're implementing detail. So detail, generally speaking, I think, so as I'm pulling from this, so detail can be added when you care about something. Detail can be added when it is necessary evidence that contradicts the accepted social image. So like, let's say you're painting a football player, like a football game. Like you're making a painting of a football game. Then you don't need to paint every individual guy, because or describe the physique of every single individual guy, because every single guy that you're going to assume in the football game that most people are going to be fit and strong and big. So if you want to add character, if you want to make the painting feel alive, that the details should go into the like things that don't match or things that you don't expect to be there. Like, for example, if there is a football player who is very skinny and lean, you might want to paint that person. Or if there is a like something that's not supposed to be there, that's where your details should go into. And otherwise you don't have to really worry about detailing the whole thing. That's kind of like what I'm understanding. It's like there's like a certain like a parallel here, like between art and writing. I find those parallels like all the time. Like just it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Like art, music, programming. Like all of these have like things in common, and just it hurts my brain sometimes, but I think that's like interesting. Let's think about some other. Let's sort of copy down other assumptions that are revealed here. Here we go. Billionaire oil barons are Oh, I can't type today. And vote Republican. That's an assumption that we make. Another assumption that we make. An unescorted red dress and high heels is a cheap pickup or prostitute. Heels at a sleazy bar. Okay. Here's another interesting one. Some of these are pretty dicey. Some of these like things that the author is like saying are pretty dicey, but they are true. That a group of black youths hanging out at night on a downtown street corner are up to no good. These here, let's see are implied. Let me see if I can like word this well. Implied to be up to no good. Unescorted woman in a sleazy bar is implied to be a cheap pickup or prostitute. Are implied to be. There you go. These details are interesting. Short stories I'm working on is from a POV of a dog who can sort of talk. Many similarities. Yeah. I love talking dogs stuff. I think the world needs more of that. So like something that I'm in. So okay. If you write this, like if the setting is a sleazy bar, and you write that you include like an unescorted woman, and you describe them wearing this, it is sort of like what the reader will understand is that they're implied to be like a pickup or a prostitute. And so like the question, like the thing that I'm sort of understanding the relationship between details and typecasting is that if you want to eliminate like this typecasting wouldn't happen if you didn't include the detail about the red dress and high heels. This type like that, like your brain wouldn't make that connection. It is the adding of detail of high heels and tight red dress and sleazy bar that makes the brain create this association. So in this instance, if you were writing, let's say you were like writing this scene, if you want the audience to assume that like if you want like I like assume because maybe the main character is assuming. Like if you want somebody to be assuming that your character that the character you're writing about is a prostitute, then you add details, you specify the details that that trigger that association, that trigger that like that conclusion. And if you didn't want that, like let's say you are writing with this character and you don't like that's not the thing that you want your audience to think of, then you have to either not include this detail, like you don't include the detail of the high heels and the tight dress, which might work, but sometimes details are important because they make the world feel more alive. So then you have to counteract that. Like you have to include some other information or some other detail that directly opposes this. In this case, like maybe you could give this person like a really high-end business phone to counteract, add detail that contradicts. For example, the lady has a high-end expensive business phone and she's wearing an earpiece. An earpiece. Okay, so now immediately, so this is interesting. Immediately, your brain understand like it sees like it caught the detail of it. Maybe she's like a prostitute, but then you see that the business phone and all that, and now you immediately get like spy vibes, right? Like you immediately get like something like this person is doing this intentionally, right? Like something is happening here, and so that's like really like that's cool. That's like I'm just like I'm understanding this in real time. Like that is a thing that I think you can play around with. Like you can like really shape your audience's expectations of what the character is by like ordering and layering the details that are being added. So let's like look at this next example. This one is like kind of it's a really dicey example, but I really like it because it is also true that for like a lot of people, if you do see a group of black youths at night at downtown corner, like the thought that we do have is like that they are up to no good. Like whether you know that is like a good thought in it of itself, or whether that thought it has merit to it. Like of course there is racism behind that thought, and so like that is an important thing to acknowledge. And so when we are including like information like this, we have to like understand that like regardless of like you know morality, regardless of let's say like ethics, or regardless of the things that we are sort of like really you know like really trying to consider of like these associations are made anyway, and we have to reflect that in our writing. We have to like understand that those associations will happen, and then we have to either counteract that or contradict it or do something about it. So like if you are including a scene and like you have this detail, a group of black youths hanging out at night in downtown street, and you don't like you have to know that like this will be associated with them being up to no good, and so you have to figure out how do you contradict that association, unless you want that association to happen for whatever reason. Do I teach how to write? No, I don't teach how to write. I am learning how to write. I am not a writer. I'm a beginner. Like I'm just you know I am learning how to write myself, but I love sort of like learning. I love learning how to write, and right now I'm just like sharing what I'm learning. So I'm learning in real time, and then I'm sharing what I'm learning in real time. So I'm not teaching it, but I might be able to still you know offer interesting writing information anyway, even if I'm not like I don't actually know much about writing. So English that's like am I native? Kind of, yeah. I would say I'll classify myself as a native. Um, but I wouldn't be able to like teach you English or writing. I am learning by, so right now I have this book next to me. The so right now I have the book written down on the stream. It's called "Make Every Word Count" by Gary Provost. So right now I'm reading chapter 4. And the way that I practice is that I I have sort of like a couple of ways to practice, but one of the ways that I practice is that like I split my practicing into two. This is the first half of my practicing, which is like I read, I reflect on what I read, I talk about what I read, and I try to like engage in what I'm learning and try to make connections in real time. So I'm not just like reading this book, I'm also like reading this book and I'm streaming about it and I'm talking about it. I'm trying to see if I can explain things. So that's like my first half. And then the second half of my practice is I forget about everything I just learned. Like I forget about everything I just learned and I just write. And I write like the dumbest thing. And I write like whatever comes to my head, whatever dumb fantasy or whatever, like anything, like not caring about quality, not caring about anything, I just write. I don't think about anything that I learned. I just enter, I enter the flow state. And when I get into that state, what I realize and what I learn is that the more that I practice that, the more that I like do that, like the more that I do both of these things, what I write in my like flow state or in my like free form practice gets better over time because I pick up on the things that I learn in this kind of practice. Please like send any like resources you have about screenwriting, mariners like that. Yeah, but please recommend is what I'm trying to say. Please recommend that video. I'm not writing a story or something. My writing are just letters and essay. So this book might actually work really well for you because I'm also not really a story writing. I am more of a philosopher. I'm more of a researcher. And so I like that's kind of the things that I prefer writing about, like essays as well. So this book is actually like really like, I think even though like I'm not like a right now I'm not yet like a big screenwriter or like a fiction person, but like I'm still getting a lot from this book that is teaching me a lot about how to approach fiction or nonfiction. I mean, I should say. Interview with Zach Kreger. Okay, I'm gonna write that down too. Thank you very much. I'm gonna check out like everything you're throwing me. I'm gonna check out. So thank you. And here is I think another line I'm gonna add to this part, the bottom, which is whether you agree with the reader's sexist stereotypes, racial prejudice, class assumptions, etc., you still have to take them into account. Like these things just will happen, and it's like important to like use that and understand that, and also like forgive people for that too. I think for me is like a thing that I think is really important, because when you're writing something or when you're creating something for an audience, and you can antagonize your audience. That's like okay, but I think you're going to, if you want to help, like if you want to make change, you will make more change and you will help more people by being empathetic to as many different perspectives and viewpoints as possible. And so like I think the best way to like if you like, let's say you want to make social change, like yeah, like this, we have stereotypes about people of color, and you want to, and you like disagree with the stereotypes, right? Then I think to make the most change that you can, like you have to, I think you should be be forgiving, or you should be understanding of like why those stereotypes happen, and like and that those stereotypes do exist, and that like if somebody has those stereotypes or has those assumptions, that doesn't make them a bad person. That makes them guilty of existing in the world that fed them those stereotypes and fed them those assumptions. But like I think that this is like a thing that like if we acknowledge these kinds of things, not only will it make us better writers, but it actually help us be able to make the change that we want to see in the world. So, and I'm just like going through the chat right now. Do I struggle with correct word choice? Yes, I do. I struggle with correct word choice all the time. All the time I struggle with correct word choice, and I'll tell you how to get over that. Which is so this is part of my. Let's say I'm gonna write a story. I'm gonna write a story about a flower, for example, and I want to write about this flower that is, and I want to make it good, right? I want like the correct word for this. I'm not a good writer, so this is going to sound like doo-doo. So here's what I'm going to say. The flower, the beautiful red flower laid on the grass before me. Okay, that's okay. All right, okay. Not a great sentence, okay? So how can I improve this? Well, the first thing to have is you need to have this sentence. Even though it's bad, even though it's so not what I'm trying to communicate, this sentence just needs to exist. Then, and this is something that this book actually really helps you as well, is that there are some words here that work better than others. For example, the word beautiful actually doesn't help us here. And the reason why the word beautiful doesn't help us here is because the word beautiful is it's not a very good, like flowers already are beautiful, right? Flowers already are beautiful. So I'm just adding a word that is just supporting what already exists. We can already assume that the flower is beautiful. So this word is not, it's like, it's if we think of each word as like a worker, as like an employee, then this is like a horrible analogy, but like this word is a employee that is not really doing, like they're kind of redundant, like they're not really doing the best job they can. So either we like fire this word, which is like kind of a horrible way to think about it, but like the book that I'm reading right now uses this analogy. So we can like fire this word, or we can make this word, we change this word into something else. So like instead of like the beautiful red flower, what's something that is, let's think of a word that can combine these two. Like what is something that is both beautiful and red? We can go on here on Google search, and we can just search red synonyms. So let's look up synonyms for the word red. And then we've got rose, wine, blooming blush, burgundy, carmine. There's some words here that sort of like that feel like rosy, rubicund. I don't even know a lot of these words, but like just looking at the thesaurus, I'm able to sort of get something flaming, crimson. So flame, maybe flaming could be like a good place to start. So like maybe it's like the flame. Like, so again, I'm going to write something. This isn't going to be very good, but it's going to be okay. The flame of the flower lit my lit here flowers. The flame of the flowers lit the landscape under red streaks of sunlight. Okay, not great, but this is now starting to get, we're starting to get somewhere. Like we're starting to like understand exactly what it is that I'm saying. So we removed beautiful and we replaced it with flame, and that's like causing something. And now I'm seeing that there's an association between flame and sunlight and like streaks, right? So we can remove red, and we can remove that word too. So now we can cut these words. And so like what I'm trying to say is that like if you're struggling with word choice, look at the words that you're writing, like look at the words that you're using, and then try to see if those words are redundant. And if those words are redundant, replace them or remove them. Here, for example, lit. The flame lit. Flame's already lit. So we don't need flame and lit. So we can just like remove lit. Like flame's already light, right? So like we can just like remove this word. So instead, the flame of the flowers caught the landscape on fire. Now we have flame and fire. They are kind of like doing redundant things. But now we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Something is happening in our brain. Something is happening, and this gives us something to play with. And we're not just like, we're not just starting from scratch. But I think that another important thing to know. So are you imagining an image in your head and describing what in words that is what you're doing? Kind of. So like, I'm not just like I am conjuring an image in my head, but also what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to things that inspire intrigue in me. So like, for example, like the fact, like, I don't know why I keep going back to this fire metaphor. I don't know why. And that interests me. Like I want to understand why I keep going into this fire metaphor, and so I'm searching for that and I'm pulling for that. So I'm not even like I don't know what the sentence is even going to be or what the sentence is going to look like. I'm like digging through it. I'm like searching for it and I'm pulling through. It feels like I'm searching through like a dark forest, and I don't know what it is that I'm here to find. But I'm slowly seeing the shape of it. I'm slowly starting to like understand the thing that I'm trying to capture. And so like, I don't even, like when I started the sentence, I didn't even know what it is that I wanted to capture. And so I think it's like that's a thing that like, I want to normalize too, is this idea that like when you are, let's say you want to write a paragraph or a sentence or something, you want to make, or like a book even, a lot of people think that you're supposed to know exactly how it's supposed to be and exactly how it's supposed to end, like by the time you start writing it. And that's not really true. Like you can sort of like, you can let go of that. Like you can let go of having to know, or like the certainty isn't always going to help you. Sometimes it's better to be uncertain, and sometimes it's better to just be okay with not knowing what the sentence is going to be. Just sort of like playing around with it, figuring it out. So like here, for example, like the crimson jewels. Like the flowers were crimson jewels that caught the landscape on fire. Okay. I just did that. I was not planning on writing this sentence. I was not planning on writing this sentence this way, and it just happened. Okay. Why I like turn this into this is because originally the sentence, the way it was what was it? It was like the flame of the flowers caught the landscape on fire. So that was what the sentence was. And then, like I said, flame was redundant. So like what? So I'm not gonna use it. So then I thought about the words that I just discovered on the thesaurus. One of them was crimson, and I've heard the term crimson jewel before, or like something about like something about the you know, I don't know what that means. I don't know, but I heard that term before, so I just used that. And then I switched. I put this here that the flowers are crimson jewels, just because like that fell, you know, just saying like this is what I'm trying to say. The flowers are crimson jewels that caught the landscape on fire. Okay, is this a you know, is this a good sentence? I don't know, but this was not the sentence that I intended on at all. Like I didn't know the sentence was going to be about crimson jewels. I didn't know that the landscape was going to be caught on fire. I just knew that I wanted to write about, you know, the beautiful flowers, and I let that just being okay with uncertainty and just sort of like letting, you know, like being unafraid to just like pick from whatever excited me in the moment. Which editor am I using? I'm using Word, Microsoft Word, just normal Microsoft Word. Sorry, I'm gonna go back through the chat. I kind of got caught in a in a little tangent there. I apologize. So talks about the ELF method. Yeah, I think that is that might be like similar to what it is I'm doing. I'll check that out. Do I make run-on sentences mistakes or common splice mistakes? I usually don't. I'm usually like pretty good at avoiding that. If that is something that you are struggling with, I think it's like something that that might be like English grammar resources. Just like trying to like just read a bunch of like English grammar books and just like understanding where your deficiencies lie. Like if you don't understand why a certain sentence can't have a run-on or a common splice, then you have to sort of like be open to like you're basically the way that you observe needs to be opened up. That like there are types of sentences, or there are types of sentences that like you need to make categories of that you haven't made categories of before. And one of those types of sentences is going to be like a sentence that where it is a wrong type of sentence to have a comma splice in. You just sort of develop that knowledge over time. I don't care if anyone's ever told you this, but you're an interesting person to listen to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I try to be, but also like I've been told something like that before. Like I've been told that I just know how to fill a room. So hopefully, you know, hopefully I can do that. Hopefully I know how to fill the room. Hopefully I'm filling the room well for you guys, and hopefully I'm providing something that you guys are enjoying tuning into. So I'm gonna put this. Actually, I quite like this sentence. I'm like proud of it. I didn't know I was capable of writing a sentence like this, so you know, I'm pretty proud of being able to create that. So okay, if the images in your reader's mind are the only images you have to work with, if he thinks that you're an escorted woman in the bars you pick up, then that's what you're going to convey when you present the situation. Mention the librarian's horn. Okay, so this book is just saying kind of like what I just said right now, where it's like change the details that you're using when you're describing something if you want to avoid something being typecasted. reader assumes quite logically that you choose to tell this fact instead of another for a reason. Hidden workovers. Tell you tell the... You okay with me giving you a shout out next time I stream? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'd be very okay with that. I didn't know you streamed as well, so you know, I'll definitely check you out sometime. Okay, so the rest of this book is, or so the rest of this chapter is just kind of like, just basically saying what I just said. But here's something that's interesting. So I said I didn't want to self promo. I think you should self promo. I think you should do it. I think you should do it like constantly. Like I think self promoting is like, is it, you know, is it dishonest, right? Like, is it like, you know, because you want to like, you know, your channel to have more views, you know, yeah, sure. It is, self-promoting is a version of dishonesty, sure. But like also, it's fun, right? It's fun to self-promo and it feels good. It feels good to talk about yourself. It feels good to say, hey, this is the thing that I do. So, like, I think people should like self-promoting more. It's like an opinion that I have. I think that people should just enjoy it because we're all we've got. We've got ourselves. You know, we have we just have us in this world as like the person we can learn to love the most. The person that we can learn to love the absolute most is ourselves. And expressing that love for ourselves, I think, is a good thing. I think it's a fun thing. So, I would encourage you to self-promo more, but I also understand that it is weird. It is a pretty weird thing to do, and it doesn't always feel good because you know you don't want to feel weird. You don't want to seem like you're just self-promoting. You don't want to be annoying. Like I get it to a T. Like I really get it. Okay, I think the rest of this chapter, I think I'm just gonna move on from, because as much as I like it, or I mean, there's like good stuff in here, but it is basically what I just said, and I want to like basically move on from it. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that chapter, and then I'm just gonna include this right here. So then let's move on to our next chapter. How many chapters we have left of this section? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we've got 5 more chapters. I think we can do it in an hour and a half. I think we've got this. Can bad guys be courteous? Is the name of the is the name of the next section. I think this section is pretty short. Oh, thank God. Okay, this section is really short. Thank God. I love this book, but I really want to get through. I've been on this part of the book for a while. I want to get through it. His excellent book on writing. William C. Knott uses a character named Jenkins to make a few points about characterization. Jenkins is a heavy, overbearing oaf of a man. A grabber, a pusher. Knott puts him through a few scenes to show how these qualities of Jenkins manifest themselves in little actions like buying a movie theater ticket, stopping at the candy counter, etc. Then Knott writes, He writes, sinking to Jenkins' consciousness for a moment, walk with him down the dim aisle of that theater. He is already munching on that chocolate bar as he starts into a row, his eye on a vacant seat in the center. He is anxious to sit down and watch the picture, and as a result, doesn't give the old lady sitting in the first seat a chance to get her tiny feet out of the way. He steps on one, crushing it beneath his heavy boot. The old woman cries out. Now, what does Jenkins do? Does he apologize? Of course not. You and I both know better than that. If he utters anything even close to an apology, it will be completely out of character. That's what he wrote. But on my copy of the book, some naughty person had penciled in why even bad guys can be courteous. Okay, so this part of the book is really just like saying. Actually, let me finish reading this paragraph. Of course, they can be courteous, but there might be times in Jenkins' life when he does apologize to a woman. Not crucial to the story. It is only there in the first place to demonstrate certain insensitive characteristics of Jenkins. Okay, not put it there to show us an aspect of Jenkins' character, and if Jenkins were going to apologize to the woman, the incident would not have been mentioned. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is like an extension of the previous section. I mean, actually... Okay. So this is an extension of the previous section. And in this section, here's a sort of idea that's being emphasized, or it's being sort of like delivered upon us. So here we're saying that if there is a scene or here, how should we say this? This section of the book, I'm just going to write down whatever's on my mind. This section of the book is about another book where William C. Nott includes the perspective of a bad guy. In it, in that scene, includes a scene that reveals or that shows the perspective of a bad guy. In that scene, William, or the bad guy, steps on an old woman's feet and doesn't apologize. So let me sort of like think about, so this scene is included for a reason. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be streaming for, so the timer is an hour and a half, an hour 24. So, if I don't see you again, thank you for your company. This was really great experience. And yeah, go get food. Go have your meal. I'm gonna get some food after this stream too. The scene is included for a reason. So if I think about it this way, so the scene is included for a reason, and if as Provost posts it, If Jenkins were going to apologize to the woman, the incident would not have been mentioned. This is interesting to me. And the reason this is interesting to me is because when actually, hold on. Okay, I know I'm getting a little bit distracted, but I just remembered that I really do want to change my icon. I want to change my icon on Twitch. I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna do that right now. Let me go into settings and then update my profile picture. I was gonna do that before the stream started and I just totally forgot. And I want to do that because I want to change my branding. So my branding is changing. I'm changing it in real time. And I do like my old branding a lot, so I'm gonna miss it a little bit. But it is sort of going to, it is reflecting the fact that, sort of like, you know, thinking in the same way that this book is trying to teach, which is like there are certain things that we associate with certain types of professions and certain types of people. And as much as I love the realism style that I usually go for, people don't quite understand that right away. And I need something that clicks with people. So this, having a more sort of like comic cartoon style is kind of like the way forward for me, as people start to understand who it is that I am and what it is that I want to do. So I've now changed my profile picture, and I also wait, I have another idea too. I'll forget. No, I'll do that later. I'm not gonna get distracted. I love getting distracted. I'm not gonna do that this time. If Jenkins were going to apologize to the woman, the incident would not have been mentioned. Okay, what I'm trying to understand, I guess this is a question from my end, which is like, why? So the point of this scene matters. Again, in this case, the point of this scene here. Wait, Jenkins is horrible. Even in innocuous. If that was not the point of the scene, like if we were instead like the type of person that Jenkins is matters. Here, by the way, I'm writing notes in this way in like, you know, more like long form style because I don't really know how to capture this idea. So I'm doing this in whatever way that I can. You want to demonstrate that Jenkins is horrible all the time, even in innocuous situations. The type of person Jenkins is, the type of person that Jenkins is, it requires this kind of scene. Like if Jenkins was a diplomat, if Jenkins was somebody, you know, like charismatic and like a leader, like you might see a situation where they might apologize to a woman like that. But like somehow here it's almost like, if we sort of go by this rule, if we go by the rule that expected details can be discarded, we still expect Jenkins. Then we still expect Jenkins to apologize. So what I mean by that is that if Jenkins was like, we just would expect him to, like even though we know Jenkins is a bad person, according to the, like this is something that like we according to the paragraph, this is what the book is trying to like show. So we know Jenkins is a bad guy. We know Jenkins is bad, and yet we still need this scene. We would still expect Jenkins to apologize without this scene. So what that says to me is that there are certain kinds of behaviors that we expect from all. If even a bad guy is expected to apologize, then there are behaviors are divine. Apologizing to an old woman stepping on an old woman's foot is divine. So the big question is, what other types of behavior are divine? And here divine meaning you expected, universal, and blasphemous if and results in blasphemy when disregarded. What are the other kinds of behaviors, like human behaviors, that exist that we do when we like sit on a, I'm trying to say, there's got to be other things that are equally as divine. Like there's got to be other things that we do that are like treated as such, treated as like something that we should expect. And if we can nail down what those things are, figure out what are the things that make us us, then maybe we can start to understand what it is to tell a human story, as opposed to like a dog story. Yeah, okay, that's my notes. That's my thought on that. That's like an interesting thing to consider, I think. So I'm gonna see now. Okay, we got this. We're just gonna run through all this. Okay, drink some water. Actually, I am going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to make some coffee. I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I've been talking for a little while. I'm going to be back in about 10 minutes. And I'll pause my timer too. I will be right back. Hello? Yeah, I'm back. I think. All right, perfect. Put this down here. I'm also trying. I'm still figuring out my best microphone setup and all that. So. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay. All right. Hello. If anybody's in chat right now, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, right now I'm just kind of chilling. So why not? I am thinking about what other kinds of streams I would like to do. I think I don't know if it'll be fun to do like video game streams. Could that be fun? I don't know. I don't know if I'm much of a I don't know. I don't know if I'm much of a reactor like that. Maybe. I like talking about the things that I am consuming, and so if I am to make a video game stream, I don't know. I just don't even know how interesting that would be. It might be interesting or it might be very boring. Video games, I think, are also kind of a space for me. I don't know. I don't know I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I think I should try it. I should try it at some point. I should try to just play a video game on stream and just see if that is good, fun. See if it's fun. Maybe it's not fun. Maybe it is fun. As long as it's fun, then it's very easy to turn that fun into something that is, something that I can do over time consistently and turn it into like fuel for my own interest and engagement. All right, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the stream. Say it's called bringing. Also, something I realized, I have my drawing tablet in front of me, and it is making typing very hard. So I'm gonna move my setup around so that I can actually type. Bringing your characters to life. This is the next part of this beautiful little book. So we've talked so far about what characteristics to use. I've said you shouldn't pick your characteristics or characteristic incidents at random, but rather select specific details that will illuminate the particular aspects of your character you want to get across. We can't characterize well simply by choosing all. You also got to write well. You got to present your characters in vivid, interesting ways so that the reader will care about them. That brings us back to the rules of style I said will pop up again. Here are some of them and how they apply to characterization. Oh, I didn't mean to highlight that. Be specific. Which character can you see better? The general man who is tall or the specific man who stands 6 feet 4 inches? Which character can you see better? The general man who doesn't do well or can't even lick the flap of an envelope without cutting his tongue? Use active voice. Okay. Show, don't tell. Which means like actions. Instead of telling the reader that the boss is a grouch, show him. The boss snapped at his secretary. The boss roared at his salesman. Verbs. So, active voice. Use action. Be specific. Make a list of one-word characters such as golfer, acrobat, divorcee, singer, mayor, or mother. Anytime you show your characters without telling them, your writing will work better. Okay, so here is a writing game. Writing games are fun and cool. Because why are they fun and cool? They are fun and cool because it lets you practice the thing that you're trying to do. And I'm feeling quite fatigued right now. Which means I just got to do it. You know, I just got to do it, even though I'm like kind of fatigued and my voice is kind of hurting a little bit today. I guess I spoke quite a bit this weekend. I just got to do it anyway. So, make a list of one-word characters. So what we do springs from what we are. Every action we take results from some trait we have. What we do springs from what we are. So a man might run because he is tardy. A mother might yell because she's irritable. A congresswoman might perjure, receive, and cheat because she's dishonest. But every deliberate action results from manifest something about the characters taking action. So ask yourself what the character would do because he is this way. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna turn this into a little style. There you go. All right. So the list that we have here is golfer. I'm just gonna copy this list. Acrobat, divorcee, singer, mayor, mother. I can't type. Okay. So that's the list we're working with. And the sort of instruction that we have. So now make a list of personal objects in front of that list. And then we're just going to take we're just going to do what this book says. We're not going to come up with our own list. We can do that, but like I want, for now, I want to work with what this book is giving me. List of adjectives are irate, depressed, lame, sentimental, insane. Wait, there's another. Okay, we're gonna come up with another adjective. Irate, depressed, lame, sentimental, insane, and then we could say maybe upstanding, like an upstanding citizen. So that's gonna be our adjectives, and now we need to write a sentence. So mix and match and write a sentence. We'll write a sentence that, like, for each type of character. So basically we're just creating a matrix and pulling apart from that. So right now I am going to search for like a random word or random order. Combined words list. Combined word generator. Is that what I'm looking for? No, I don't want to create, like, I want to like random list. I guess random.org is what I'm looking for. And then we're just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our list, our randomized list is going to be, hi, how's it going? I also took a little bit of a break too. So right now, what this is, so part of this game, or part of the what the book is making us do right now, it's making us go through a game. Like, it's called a writing game. And this writing game is to come up with characters, come up with adjectives, combine them, and then try to create a sentence that shows off that character without including those words, and to use some of the tips that we learned from like reading the rest of the book. So using adjectives, being specific, using active voice. So right now I'm just creating like the randomized list that I'm going to be using. So in this case, that's going to be, oh, there you go. So we can do rat, divorcee, mother, singer, mayor, golfer. So that's the part 1 of that list. And then for the second list, we need an upstanding acrobat. Then we've got lame divorcee. That'd be fun. A sentimental mother. A singer, or an insane singer. A depressed mayor, and when's the last one? An irate golfer. Go for it. What's up? What's your question? If I watch one movie or read one book for the first time again without knowing what happens, which one are you picking? I think when people answer this, what they'll try to answer is something like what their favorite book is or what their favorite movie is. I'd have to think about that because I love re-consuming stuff. I love rewatching stuff. I love rereading things because I always learn something new. Like, that's my favorite version of an act. And so what, like, I think the way to answer this would be to just express where my favorite memories were of consuming something for the first time, and just like sort of like have that, just like, which ones can I sort of like remember or re-experience. And also the way that I would experience it would change because of my age, but I'm going to ignore that. I would say Attack on Titan, the TV show Attack on Titan, if you like the anime. So it's not a movie or a book, but it's like that's what I would watch again for the first time, because the experience of watching all of Attack on Titan it's something. Like, it really it changed my life, that show. because of just how, I don't know, it basically inspires me to do everything that I do. That's how much I enjoy Attack on Titan. I would love to create something that as acclaimed as that show. So, okay, let's try to come up with some sentences for this. So the example sentence that this book gives for the irate golfer, thankfully, that was an example that the book already had. So here is the example that the book gives. Stormed across the 15th green, swinging a 5-iron at the reporters. So this is like tricky. I feel like this is the example the book gives for like for irate golfer. The reason why this is tricky is because, you know, it's tricky for me because I don't know what the 15th green is. I don't know what a 5-iron is. I didn't sort of like, I didn't know there were reporters. And so like I like golf course, like no, golf places. I don't know anything about golfing. And so if I were to like do this properly, I would have to do a lot of research on golfing. And I'm not gonna, I mean, I could do that, but that's going to be very tricky. The only thing I can really do is pull from what I know about golfing, which isn't very much. What I know about golfing is from Wii Sports. Yeah, I would also rather eat my hand than watch golf. So like the most that I know about golfing is literally from Wii Sports, and so like that's all I can pull from, and I'm just gonna have to sort of like, you know, work with that and like be okay with that. Like my example sentence for irate golfer is just not going to look anything like this. It's not gonna look anything as like good as this. So we're gonna start with the first one. I'm also gonna I want to like obfuscate this sense a little bit just because I don't want to like reference it too much. Goes in the wet bit, you've done a bit. See, I don't even know that there's wet bits. I know that there's grass, and I know that there is a hole. And I know that you hit the ball. And I know that yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Some courses have lakes. Oh, see, there we go. I forgot about that. I think Wii Sports had some lakes. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna do very well at this assignment, but that's okay. So like I don't know anything about acrobats. I've also never been divorced. I don't know much about singing. I don't know much about mayoring. I don't, you know, we're just gonna have to play this game anyway. We're gonna have to like do this assignment anyway. So my first assignment, or the first sentence, is an upstanding acrobat. So this would be like an acrobat that is also like a good citizen, like a good upstanding citizen acrobat. So maybe, what do we know about acrobats? Let's words we know related to acrobats. So here I'm just gonna like dump. I'm not even worrying about what the sentence is gonna be. I'm just gonna dump. We can say that an acrobat, or just not even words. I want to say things we know, or really things I know. I want to say we, because this is now, because I'm streaming this. This is like now also a fun little, you know, collaboration event. So what do I know about acrobats? I know acrobats go in the air. Sometimes acrobats go to like are in circuses. I know they practice. I know, you know, like they practice what they do. I know that they are typically lean. I know that in acrobats swing, right? They swing on the swingers. Oh, I mean, if you want input, no, if you want to give input, yeah, go for it, go for it. I'd be more than down for that. Swing on the swingers. I don't know what the swingers are called. Like the little, like the little, they go wee. I'm gonna call swing on the swingers. Is the best that I can do. On the circus bed, they live in trailers and travel a lot. Oh, look at that! Look at that. Okay, they live in trailers and travel a lot. That's a really great knowledge. And I'm gonna put this under this line right here. See what else can we think about acrobats? For some reason I'm thinking about the character Robin from Batman. Just because I watched a movie where his origin story was he was like an acrobat. He was a circus performer. So, all right, I'm gonna hold this list. If you want to contribute anything else, you're welcome to. Would someone consider divers as acrobats to do flips into the water? That's true. That's true. I'm gonna use instead of focusing on the diver part, I'll just like think about the act of flipping. Like they flip. I don't know here. Divers possible acrobats. Okay, so that's acrobats. Okay, we're just working. We're not doing any research. We're working with what we've got. Then let's think about like what would an upstanding person do? And this one I think we can keep short. You can say like an upstanding person would like save lives. An upstanding person would give money, donate money. An upstanding person would they would maybe like help the little people. Maybe they would defend someone from evil. They might even call out evil. Okay, so keeping that simple. Now let's think about what an upstanding acrobat do. And here we have the luxury of we can come up with any scenario we want. We don't have to, like, this doesn't need to be realistic. This doesn't need to be like, this doesn't need to be like a real thing, because like the point of this is to a little bit like have fun with it too. We can just sort of like, why is this indented so weirdly? Hold on. That's not right. There we go. Okay, that was weird. So like sort of using the Batman example, where like an acrobat might flip into a flip over a pit of fire to save a little kid dangling on a rope above it. Like an upstanding acrobat. So we're thinking of like a scenario where like a child is like tied to a rope and a tied over a pit of fire, and an upstanding acrobat might like flip over that fire and like twirl around and try to like unentangle the kid midair. Okay, so this is a pretty silly example. But like it's sort of like this idea of like they might jump into danger. Do a charity circus show for free or donate money? Wait, that's actually great. Wait, hold on. So they could do a charity circus show for free. That's actually like a really okay. That's a better idea that I could come up with. I actually quite like that example. They could not just do a charity, because I also sort of see acrobat as something that's like very active. And so if you want to think about like action, like what's something that only an acrobat could do? An acrobat could do a show, but so could a producer, right? So like an acrobat, not only would they do a show, like maybe they might teach. So they might give free acrobat lessons, and they might like and do like one-on-one training. So yeah, let's take this idea. Yeah. So it seemed like very useful exercises. Yeah, no, like this book has a lot of like really awesome exercises. They're just a little bit scary because it's like, like the book does examples of them, but the book, because the author is a good writer, the examples that the author gives are like really good, and it's like I'm not able to do that, right? I have to like work with what I've got. So we can say, if you want to, let's just like write a sentence, a shitty, a doo bad sentence, just something that like that's this. So we can say the only thing is that we can't include the word upstanding. I think that's easy. We can't include the word acrobat either, but like that's I'll think also easy to avoid. We can just say like use he or she or they. In this case, I'm gonna start with they. They okay, so first this is not a good sentence. They were teaching, they gave the child one-on-one lessons, and ensured the child's safety as, I'm gonna use the word the child again. This is not a good sentence. As the child did his mid-air stunts for the first time. So this one I didn't include like the charity stuff. So let's see if we can include that here. They gave the child one-on-one lessons and ensured the child's safety as the child did his. So right now I'm going to, because I don't want to, I'm just going to introduce gender here. So here, just to make it easy for me, I'm going to say acrobat he and child her. So he gave the child one-on-one lessons and ensured her safety as she did her very first mid-air stunts. So now we're going to try to bring back this like charity idea. Here we can do this. He gave the child one-on-one lessons and ensured her safety. We could maybe introduce a sentence here, like the idea here. We could say, oh, also my head is covering that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I might actually I'm gonna make my head smaller. Ah! There we go. So let's say he you know what? Let's, instead of one child, let's say for the charity event, he gave children one-on-one lessons and ensured their safety as they did their very first. There we go. All right. There we go. That also implies that he worked with multiple children. Right. So it's not just we solved it. We solved the problem. We solved a problem. Okay. For the charity event, he gave children one-on-one lessons and ensured their safety as they did the very first mid-air stunts. Is that, let's now look at this and think about the checklist that we have for turning this into a good sentence. And I have like a checklist here. I'm gonna see if I can I don't know if I can how to pull this out, but I'm just gonna write down like the list here somewhere. So this is a little bit unorganized. I apologize. And then let's do actually, okay, I guess it's not gonna be there. It was active voice, be specific, use verbs that of adjectives. So he ensured there's, so we've got active voice, so we've got that. Are we specific enough? What else could we introduce specificity? So here we can say for like maybe, I don't know if there's like I don't know if this like is shoehorns in for like for the acrobatics association yearly charity event. Is that good? I think that feels shoehorned in. That doesn't feel quite right. Which you can have it where it's unprivileged community don't get access to lessons like that often. Oh, that's so smart. That's so smart. Oh my god, that's so smart. Okay. Where would we include that? We could include that maybe. So unprivileged community who doesn't get access to events like that often. So maybe it could be like, maybe he traveled then. So then, like he gave. For now, okay, I'm gonna write underprivileged just to have this idea here. Underprivileged children one-on-one lessons. We're gonna change this. I'm just writing this down. So now I'm gonna think about like what could that be? So maybe it could be like, this is, first bad idea. We're gonna say children from Africa. That's a very cliche, but like, I'm not a good writer yet. I gotta work with what I got, and what I've got are the cliches. So he gave, I'm gonna say like African children. Again, this is not I just have to work with what I've got. I'm not very good at this yet. He gave African children one-on-one lessons and ensured their safety as they did the very first mid-air stunts. So here, instead of African children, we could also say like in rural African counties, he gave, there we go, rural African counties. And I don't know, and the reason why I'm bringing up Africa, by the way, is just because that is somewhere where we do associate privileged, underprivileged a lot. There are other places too, like where I'm from, South America. That the first place I would say is Brazil, and we could maybe say Brazil too, like in rural Brazilian counties. That actually feels more closer to my own lived experience because I did live in Brazil for several years. Um, so I think I can maybe bring that more. Um, so let's do that instead. Telling them of absolutely nowhere. I know some charities do outreach in those countries and deserts or forests. They don't necessarily have to be poor, just miles from anything. Yeah, I think that the reason why I'm latching on to the poorness is because that gives that that evokes the idea of an upstanding citizen more, even though like, which is unfortunate, right? It is unfortunate that we don't, yeah, like favelas, yeah, like rural Brazilian favelas. Actually, that's actually like a really good word to use here. So the reason why I'm latching onto this, to the poor idea, isn't because I think that like you can't be an upstanding citizen in other ways, or that like if you do a charity event in like really remote areas, that counts as being underprivileged. Like that does. The unfortunate, I guess, like just the thing that just is a fact of reality is that this is like writing, right? And this is like writing that is meant to exist in the public space, and it is going to be reviewed by other people. It's going to be reviewed by people like you and me, and like just by the public. And so for the public, if I want to communicate the idea that this person is an upstanding citizen, I can't obfuscate that in any way. I can't like, have the, like, I have to get the words and use the words that I know for certain will work, and that I know for certain is going to evoke exactly what I want without question. Like I want people to think this person is the most upstanding person you can think of. Like the using horror communities is going to evoke that much more strongly or much more immediately than another kind of community. At least like from how I see it. Of course, I could be wrong about that, but that is sort of my, based off of just like my own instincts and my own gut. And I think that like, because I do think about this a lot of like, how do you enact social change if you are also restricted by the ways, like the associations and the ways that people, think of the world today. You have to like work with what people think, but also you want to change people's minds. How you do that, and you have to kind of like collaborate with that. Like you have to collaborate with how people think in the moment and think in the present. And once you are able to, get people on your side, it becomes so much easier to then be able to change people's minds and be able to then introduce new ideas. So because I don't have that yet, because I don't have the like either the qualifications or the social pedigree, or I don't have people on my side yet. So in order to be able to like basically my history and my actions can't speak for me. People don't know who I am. Like they they just don't. And so the only thing that can speak for me is the work that exists. And so the work, like the art, like the writing, has to do all of the heavy lifting. And so sorry, I got into a tangent there, but that is just like a thing I think about a lot. Is like in this case, like I agree that like that that someone can be an upstanding citizen by like doesn't need to be like poor people or helping poor people. Like I think that idea is very outdated, but I don't have the credentials to override that idea yet. And so like this is what I've got to work with. Got to pave your own path sometimes, especially in writing. Yeah. And I think if other people have a different way of approaching that, like I think that like whatever works, right? Whatever works for you and whatever works for you, what you want to do. For me, like in what I'm doing and what I'm working right now, like just after a lot of thought, after a lot of time, I'm just like, I'm seeing now that like I have to sort of like just work with that, like just be okay with, you know, not making the change that I want to make right now. I'll that change will happen. I will, you know, I will change people's minds over time. It's just like I have to have faith that I will. And for now, I am best understanding the sort of like laws that exist today, like just the way people are today, and learning that and appreciating that. Like I said, I think about this a lot, so I'm sorry I got into that. I didn't mean to like tap into that note specifically. This is just something that I think like I think about all the time. So uh so now I'm just reading back what you're saying. Do you have a time frame in mind for this story? I don't, because this story this isn't like a story. This is like a, or sorry, I guess you're already using story in quotes, but like um I'm just thinking like modern day. I'm simplifying it to that. So during the Olympics in Brazil, that makes more sense. There'd be more programs for that. However, that might take away the upstanding part. Yeah, I agree. Like this should be like like that detail is like, I think it takes away, it obfuscates from like the purpose of the sentence. In rural, he gave children one, and he said like he hosted yearly charity events in rural or in rural Brazilian favelas, and gave ensure the safety as they did the very first major stunts. Do I speak Portuguese? I used to speak Portuguese like fluently, and I forgot all of it. I spoke only Portuguese for the first 7 years of my life, and I forgot all of it. And now I speak mostly English and like a little bit of Spanish. But yeah, I used to be like, I was like only, I know, I'm like disappointed in myself. Like I'm sure if I started learning it again, I would pick it up really quickly, because it was the only language I spoke for like 7 years. And I just like, I don't know, it's gone. It's not there. But I think I could get it back. I'm not, you know, like, I'm not too worried about it. So here, let's try to fix the sentence up real quick. This part needs to be shorthanded. So giving and gave children one-on-one lessons and ensured their safety. So here, this we can combine. We can say and like we can say like safely taught nervous children how to do let's say instead of nervous children, right? And safely taught children how to do their first major stunts. I think we can combine that. I think that's pretty good. Instead of taught, let's say like mentored or guided. that sort of gives guided, sort of fills the impression. Do. And what would a lame divorcee do? So, in this case, what would it? So, what would a lame? Okay, I have to do this for literally every single sentence because I'm not very used to writing. So, a divorcee is they might be feeling stressed. Okay, they might be probably unhappy. Sometimes financially restricted. That's a good one. Oh my god, you're great. You're great at this. You're great at this. Thank you very much. They are financially restricted. They could be. Let's try to come up with maybe like two more. Project anger onto others. I was thinking about that, like emotionally on like I don't say. I should put this in number two as well. Like emotionally, maybe like let's say unstable, but what I don't mean is like I just mean that it's like they might be likely to project anger. They might be like, maybe just feeling a lot of emotions and feeling chaotic or feeling chaos. Some like chaos of emotions, like feeling something happening. See, maybe you could come up with like one more thing. Here's like an idea that I have is like they could also maybe be like just like, let's say like something related to sex, like something like sexually frustrated, maybe like sexually unhappy, sexually unfulfilled, let's say. It depends on whether they were like recently divorced. That's also another thing too, is like it's like this, for some reason this feels like recent. Like when you use the word divorcee, what you get, or what the thing that I imagine is like that it was like recent, that it was like I don't know. The word divorcee implies that it's like, and like not yet replaced. Did not yet replace or find someone else. Like the reason why I'm thinking that is because like maybe like when if you are divorced but then you marry again, you don't call them a divorcee. Like maybe you do, but like when I think of divorcee, that's not, I don't think about a person who married again. I think about someone who like is unmarried, is currently unmarried or single. That's maybe the word that's really what I'm trying to say. It's like yeah. Now let's think about what a lame person would do. Now I don't think what I'm gonna say isn't like, I don't think these things are lame. It's just like, this is like, I think what like we think of when we think of lameness. I think of unemployed. Now I'm speaking this as somebody who was unemployed right now. I think like I think lame, like unemployed, maybe like maybe like gross, unhygienic. I'm thinking of somebody who is still like immature, maybe plays video games all day, and like, like it hurts to like, it like actually hurts to like write stuff like this, because like I don't think that, like I don't think like if somebody who plays video games all day, I don't think that person is lame. But like, this is when I search for like what is a lame person, the idea of a lame person, like these are just things that pop up in my head. And so that's sort of like a, I don't know, just a thing to like, I guess, acknowledge, at least for me to acknowledge to myself. Mean to others, I like that. I think maybe a lame person could also be like unambitious, no aspirations, no goals, is sometimes what I think of when I think of like a lame person. So here's like a funny idea. Like a lame, yeah. Like having the same routine, no variety, predictable is, I think, like and also like not or being, let's say, like not desiring to challenge themselves or their beliefs. stagnant. So, yeah, I think that is, I think this captures like a lameness, at least, you know. Yeah, for me anyway. This is, I think it's like a good list. So, what would a lame divorcee do then? I think a lame divorcee could think of someone who is like mean to others. Maybe they have the same routine, no variety. They could be maybe I'm gonna throw this idea out there. I'm just gonna throw this idea. I'm not gonna think about it too much. But oh, sorry. That is a spam message. Let's not have that. Okay. Let's say like that a lame person maybe like lives in their mom's basement. Variety is lacking due to their financial success and to gain money to pay for a new place or something. Yes. Okay. So let's think of like no, like all your ideas are like thank you for throwing these ideas. Like they're all like helping me. So I'm gonna come up with like a character. Let's say like a 36-year-old, okay, male divorcee, who lives in his mom's, this is a horrible idea, but lives in his mom's basement, has no job or interest in getting a job, and thinks he didn't do anything wrong, and his ex-wife was the one that was in the wrong. So like does that sound like a lame person to you? Does that sound like you know? Okay, all right. Thank you. So let's now think about what this lame person, like, let's call him, I don't know, Harold or something. What would Harold now, what would he do? Like what does it make on a day-to-day basis? Like maybe he like streams. Maybe he live streams. Maybe he's a streamer. So let's come up with this character. So he is a live streamer, and he plays, let's say like I don't want to like discredit anyone who like plays video games, but like, I mean, definitely not. I love video games. I play video games all the time. Right? Okay, yeah. Uses sub only chat. He let's say like he like has a he like like I almost want to inject like I don't know if you know who Asmon Gold is, or like people like that. I almost want to like inject something like that where it's like he's like slightly conservative or maybe very conservative. Conservative views. But the reason why I'm hesitant for that is because that I think would split my the Serious Scoops audience. And I don't want to be super actively antagonistic towards like something like that, because I don't feel very actively antagonistic against something like that. Like I would rather like come from like a place of understanding, but I do disagree with just conservatism in general, and I do, you know, like I see that as being lamer. So I'm going to instead of that angle, I'm gonna like try to like maybe like pull back from that a little bit, and instead maybe say something about like maybe he likes to cause drama, like maybe he likes to have opinions on people, likes to have strong opinions about other streamers, thinks he's better other streamers. I like that. Like promoting either crypto or like let's say like I'm gonna go on a different here. Let's say like promoting like here. Let me, because I want this person to be lame, right? I don't want this person to be like necessarily bad. Although like he is like a bad person in some ways, but I want this person to be like just like lame, right? Like almost like you feel sorry for them. And I think like once we start thinking, because like once you start doing things like promoting crypto, that's when you start to act maliciously. So I want to like pull back from that a little bit. So let's say let's bring back this. Yeah. Let's sort of like undo some of this, because I want to like that's sort of like, if we think of that as divine, it's like his lameness is what we need to conjure. So let's think about like things that what we have so far that might take away from that. Instead of strong opinions about other streamers, let's say he is uninclined to change how he streams. So like instead of saying he has this opinion about other people, it's more like inverting that, where it's he has, you know, like maybe strong opinions about like himself. Like he likes the way he streams and doesn't want to change it for other people's sake or his audience's sake. So like, you know, maybe he, you know, doesn't put much effort into it. Maybe that's an even better idea to say that. Doesn't put much effort into his content. And this we're gonna remove, because that I think starts to get into more like narcissism, which is fair, but instead of the use sub only chat, maybe it's like he doesn't really engage with his audience. Right? Which is like, it's interesting, right? It's like kind of the same idea, where it's like if I have sub only chat, it's kind of the same thing, where it's like I'm not engaging with my audience. But like it's like a, you know, it's like a different version of that, and it like makes him more passive, but like that passiveness accentuates his like real fault, like his like lameness. And it's like, it's not because he's being malicious, it's literally because he's like, you know, he's lame, he's just like a very passive person. And maybe I might add that as like a lame person, it's like a passive person. So now I think we can like write our sentence. Isn't this fun, by the way? I don't know, like I think this is like fun. I think this is like a fun way to like approach like studying, and approach studying writing, and like you know, sort of like have, I don't know, like I'm having fun right now. I hope you're having fun right now. I'm having a lot of fun right now. Yeah, this is like a really awesome way to just like, you know, think about like think about what details you're adding into your character and why, right? Like before you sort of like dive into it, it's like diving into things is fine, but you can also like prepare, right? Like kind of like a scuba diver. Like you can like prepare, figure out exactly how much oxygen you need, etc. Like or like if you're taking a camping trip, like what snacks are you gonna have and all that. Like to me, this is like this part of the process before you really get into something is like I think very fun and just very invisible. Like we don't see this when we look at finished work. When we see like see like work online, characters online or stories online or like shows or TV or video games or movies. We don't see this part of the process, and I like that's the part of change that I actually want to make as a person myself. Like I want there to be more content or more just having this be more open, like this part of creation just be like showing how this is just as much fun as like actually doing the writing. So here let's come up with a sentence. So in this case, let's say right now I'm just gonna like start writing. I'm not gonna worry about what this paragraph is trying to say. I'm just gonna like say this. I'm gonna say Harold turned on his camera and prepared, and yeah, I'm gonna start writing. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm prepared for his live stream. He thought about trying a different shooter game today. And maybe I can say here, because here I can say like, because I know a lot about video games, so maybe how about trying say a different game today, but he so decided against it and play and opened Overwatch anyway. Okay. In his stream, this is we're just writing. I'm not gonna think about it. He got very upset at his female teammates, and he, let's say he especially one who reminded him of his ex-wife. Okay, I think this is like okay. We're just creatively churning out stuff. We're not even thinking about like where these details show up. We're just we just have this. Let me read what you said. As you asked earlier, LinkedIn usually streams at 8 p.m. today. If you want to pop in, you lovely guy. Another phone's doing. Yeah, if I have time for that, I would love to hop on. I will make sure to write it down on my calendar. I am like a fairly busy person, so I can't always promise that like to join in on stuff. Especially if it's like on the day of, but that's like, I will like take that and make sure that is on my calendar. So thank you very much. Well, also I've only got about 4 minutes. 4 minutes before I'm supposed to end this stream, and the reason why I'm ending the stream, like why I'm cutting it off, is because I want to like I just know I could stream all day if I wanted to, and I want to like make sure that I have like just being aware of my own, just, I don't want to burn out, essentially. And I know if I just streamed all day, I could stream all day, and I don't want to like burn out. So let's I feel a little bit sad because I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. I really want to stream more. I think maybe like I usually stream around these times, by the way, like in this time frame, like right now it's 4 p.m. my time, so 1 to 4 p.m. or it's 4:40 p.m. my time, but like within like the last 3 hours ish, like around this time of this is when I stream. So I'll be streaming again tomorrow, but I'll be doing something different tomorrow. I'll be doing like video game dev related stuff. But yeah, just like, letting you know that I'll be on again tomorrow. And I'm still sort of like figuring out like what my best cadence is for stream times. And like what are the types of what are just like, how, like, can I stream longer? Like, am I able to stream longer without burning out? I don't know. I'm sort of like trying to gauge that. But thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm very very new to streaming, so learning a lot. But so far I'm like, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying it. So hopefully it blossoms into something. Let's see here. So Harold turned on his camera and prepared for his live stream. Let's like start off by saying like maybe like his mom. Here we go. Like maybe here's an idea. Like maybe like his mom does his laundry still. All right, like his mom does his laundry. His mom like does like cleans for him. So maybe like his mom banged on his door to deliver him his laundry, but Harold had already began live streaming his favorite game. Let's say here, like maybe he was like, I think something I want to introduce is this idea that like when his mom, let's see here. Oh, now I'm getting distracted by the fact there's only 20 seconds left. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna like finish the sentence, and then we're just gonna have to call it at the end. Okay. In the stream, he got very angry. He's feeling with teammates. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna leave it at that. We'll address this sentence later. We'll revise it later. Damn. Oh my god. Okay. So I guess that's it. That's the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. I had so much fun. I'll be back again next week. This time I'll be if you have Blue Sky, you can follow me on my Blue Sky, and I'll be posting a schedule there soon. Otherwise I want to try to have my schedule for this week up on my Twitch, so we can check that later tonight. But it's going to be, like I said, around the same time today, tomorrow, and then like either maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna figure that out later today. So yeah, stay awesome, stay fresh, have fun creating, have fun writing, and I'll catch you some other time. Bye.